Okay, so for the first problem, you notice here's a map of the world, and here's a map of South America. So if I scroll down to the question here, it says plate boundary number 3. They're not in order, so you'll be from plate boundary 3 to plate boundary 5 to plate boundary 1, because when I was doing this by name, not by numbers. So plate boundary number 3. So I come up here to the map, to the world map, and I find plate boundary number 3. Plate boundary number 3 is right here. Okay, y'all see plate boundary number 3? That is basically the South American plate. All right. So we're at plate boundary 3. I just want y'all to see where are we at on the globe. Well, we're here in South America. So I scroll down here to plate boundary number 3. And it is the South American plate and the Nazca plate. So that kind of gives you just an idea where we are on Earth, what we're looking at. All right, so this middle map here shows you the directions of the plate movements. So they're moving together like that, so you should recognize that as a convergent boundary. The second map over here is a topographical map. Topographical maps show elevation. So if I look at it on the left side of that map, dark blue represents deep ocean. That makes sense because this is oceanic crust and continental crust. The oceanic crust is going to go like that, and that forms a deep spot in the ocean. Okay, you get a deep sea trench. So it does make sense that that is a deep part of the ocean. If you look at the other side, see how it's light blue? That represents shallow ocean. And then we go back over here, you see the white. That represents very tall mountains with snow on them. In fact, those are the Andes Mountains, which I was actually curious because I used to be a big skier. I'm actually curious if they have skiing in the Andes. I'm sure they do. So anyways, these are the Andes Mountains. They are volcanic mountains made from mostly volcanoes. A lot different from the mountains we have in the United States, which are folded mountains. So anyways, then I come over to the left side of the map, and this is, if you look closely, it's kind of hard to read. That is an earthquake map. And you can see, do they have a lot of earthquakes? Yes, they have lots of earthquakes. Okay, and then if I go down to the bottom, this is a volcanic map, and they do have a lot of volcanoes. Okay, the one on the far right, that is the seafloor age, the age of the seafloor. And what you'll notice is that it's color-coded by the age of the ocean floor. And I'll tell you this, the reason I didn't ask any questions on the age is this kind of confuses me because I would assume that this would be very old. And according to this, it's very young crust. So I kind of stayed away. I don't know if they didn't have this right or if I'm misreading things. So I'm not going to ask you anything about the age of the crust. So then from there, after I explore the maps, and I determine what I'm looking at and what type of boundary, then I come down here and answer the question. The map above shows is it convergent, divergent, or transform boundary between the Nazca Plate and the South American Plate. Because the Nazca Plate is oceanic, crust is oceanic crust. It is more dense or less dense than the South American Plate. Because of this, the Nazca Plate will subduct underneath South America, the South American Plate, which will result in, is it fault lines, volcanoes, or mid-ocean ridge? Okay. So you answer that, and you go to number 2. Number 2 is very similar. You scroll down. Okay, so all right, we're looking at number 1 on the map. So I come up here. I find number 1. Okay, we're looking at far North America up by Alaska. So we're up in the Alaskan area. So I scroll down here and I take a look at the Alaska plate, or North American plate, South Pacific plate. We're up in Alaska. All right, again, they're pushing together, so you should recognize what type of boundary that is. These are actually called the Aleutian Islands. Interesting theory is that Native Americans, such as the Indians in America, the theory is they're actually from Europe, just like everybody else, and they migrated across the Aleutian Islands thousands of years ago. So basically, they were from Europe, and this would be back in the Ice Age, so 5,000 to 6,000 years ago, I believe. I'm not a big historian, but anyways, so these are the Aleutian Islands. If I come over here, you'll see they have a lot of earthquakes and they have a lot of volcanoes. In fact, this is part of the uh, Ring of Fire. Okay, so I come down here and answer the questions. Go on to number 3. Okay, number 3, I found an article on the Aleutian Islands. So what you do is you click on the article, and you very quickly just read over the article about the Aleutian Islands. After you read over the article about the Aleutian Islands, you go back and you answer the question. The Aleutian Islands are formed from a series of what? And you choose your answer. And you move on to number 4. Same thing. Notice I have a video here. So you watch the video. It should help you with the questions. And then you answer the questions. Then you move on to number 5. Again, where am I at? I'm at number 5. So I'm at number 5, so I come up and find number 5 on the map, which happens to be Eurasia and India. So just to let you know where we're at in the world, we're at Eurasia and India, right in here. Now watch the video and I answer the questions. Okay, then number 6, same thing. I have a video on the San Andreas Fault. This one is on the San Andreas Fault. It's number 2 on the map, which is right here. So we're looking at this area of the map. And then you would answer the questions and move on from there. In fact, that's the last one. You'll be finished. All right. Again, this is a test grade. I think it's going to be easy. I haven't gone to look at grades yet because I've been working on your test. But if you have any questions, let me know. I'm sitting down. I've been last hour, so I've been working on the test for Monday. But that's basically what we're doing.